As the anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's death approaches, Joe Kelly is taking us back in time to see how our area learned of that assassination and the days following.
On the morning of April 9, 1865, about 600 miles south of the Mohawk Valley, one of the final battles of the Civil War was waged, a battle that included New York's 146th Infantry Regiment. And by the end of the day, the war would end. On April 14th, news of Robert E. Lee's surrender reached Utica. A meeting was held in the Common Council chambers at the 12-year-old Utica City Hall. Those at the meeting were making plans to celebrate the victory and welcome home their men. Then, around 1 o'clock in the morning, came a telegraph message with news from Washington. President Lincoln had been shot. At 8 a.m., more telegraph traffic. The president was dead. John Butterfield, the mayor of Utica, issued a proclamation requesting that all business come to a stop between noon and 2 p.m. that Saturday afternoon. For those 2 hours, the bells of the city would ring a slow, sorrowful lament. The next day, Sunday, churches across the Mohawk Valley were draped in black. On Wednesday, April 19th, the funeral of the president was held in the nation's capital. That day, a memorial procession wound its way through the streets of the capital, led by its Grand Marshal, Colonel James McQuaid of Utica, who was the hero of the Battle of Gaines Mills. The Washington, D.C. funeral was just the beginning of a long journey that would take the fallen president to his grave in Springfield, Illinois, a journey that would come through the Mohawk Valley. A group of elected officials and prominent citizens of Utica were sent to Albany to help escort the Lincoln funeral train back to Utica. A light rain was falling on the night of April 26th. A large crowd gathered on Lower Genesee Street around Baggs Hotel and the railroad tracks. The Lincoln cortege was expected to arrive at 8:15 p.m. It was running about 15 minutes behind schedule. Then a cannon shot from the gun known as Old Saratoga announced the arrival of the funeral train. A large crowd lined both sides of the tracks as the decorated train pulled into Utica. The Utica Brass Band played a funeral dirge, and church bells in the city tolled in honor of the president. The train was stopped in the city for 20 minutes. Shortly before 9 p.m., the Lincoln funeral train left the station. The crowds dispersed and the rain fell. Produced with the cooperation of the United County History Center, I'm Joe Kelly, and this is Hidden History.